You guys do know, okay, it says in the Bible that when the apocalypse happens, it's the what the apocalypse is you have a lot of stuff that transpires before the apocalypse. You have the book of Daniel. You have what happens with everybody hunting down and trying to kill off the temples of the Ark of the Covenant. Okay, and try to isolate and find the Holy Grails. And during the Holy Crusades, the Catholic Church went out to go find the women that produced men like Muhammad and Saladin and kill all the women. It's one of the worst parts. That's why Saladin is not fun to talk to in prayer. You have a lot of people, he was not a messiah, he was just a really good man. Yeah, a lot of people say that because they started doing business for genocide with people like the Vatican, okay? One of the ways to do business and have business partners, if you're an oil company, is to work through the banks of the Vatican. Surely by now you know my heart is wild. I ain't got time to be tied down. Ain't my style. Surely I know this. You know this kind of attitude is selfish, but I know good. I'm Destiny's Child, right? Meant so much to love you for a little while. When somebody comes and fucks you and leaves and calls it love, you've got to understand they are bankers and they have no idea what love is. They're a wicked servant, okay? If I was such a wicked master, why didn't you take the money I left you and give it to your cousin and earn me some fucking interest? If you think I'm as evil as you are, okay? Jesus' parables are very intense. When someone who understands them explains them and cleans up your shit because you can't clean up your own damn self. All right? Now wash your hands of me and him and go get your bank account started. Try Chime. You'll get complimented at the banking machine by a New York point guard who don't know his butt from a hole in the ground, right? Okay. I think the thing about it is when you're in a large group of psychotic philanthropists, it has an effect on you intellectually and emotionally. It's brain damage. Okay. It's just trying to assimilate to the group to survive. And when people get in survival mode, they lose the capacity to free the soul from the mind because you go into survival mode. You become a jellyfish. You become an animal in the ocean that has all kinds of brain activity that all the scientists say are smarter than us. Commander Taggart, you have saved us. Oh. Okay. Just because you can invent a lot of stuff to manipulate people doesn't make you intelligent. Okay? Just because you can outmaneuver people to predicate on them and kill them does not make you intelligent. Okay? That jellyfish that killed the crocodile hunter was not more intelligent than him. They were about the same. They were in survival mode. Okay? I wasn't there that morning when my father passed away. I didn't get to tell him all the things I had to say. I think I heard his spirit later that same year. I think I heard his whispers in my baby's newborn terrors. I just wish I could have told him in the living years, right? Good song, huh? Mike and the Mechanics. My mom really liked that. Taken In was her favorite because she fell into attachment with a guy named Mag Metko, who was a jazz musician who played at the clubs in Tempe. And he went out with her, and then, you know the song. Taken in again, wrapped around the finger of some fair weather friend. I'd love you to believe you, but you know how to lie. All right. And I was like, Mom, you need to quit looking for happiness in these men and enjoy the happiness you can get from Corey, other people and stuff like that. But I understand her. It's so good loving somebody when somebody going down the middle of the road with. It's so nice to have a mature, affectionate adult that gets you, Not a Jesus philanthropy commercial. Fuck that shit. Those people are crazy. Okay? They just trying to justify making money. Okay? That's all they doing. Like Jesus tells me about that. What about the Dan Rowells? That's just making money, Earl. What about these people? It's just making money, Earl. What about them? No, they're just making money. Verily I say unto you, don't listen to Bobby Schuller. He's just making money. Okay, Crefeld up, money. Joyce Meyer, money. Okay. Zakir Nowick, just trying to help you out, money. Okay? Like Judah Krishnamurti said, when they have that large following and all those, they're a guru and they have all those followers and those, you know what I mean? It's just all about the money, okay? Judah Krishnamurti, to keep his foundations going, to try to help children get free from philanthropy training, would publish books and sell books to try to help children survive the money and then help them understand how to help other children free themselves from that trap. It obviously didn't work because the foundation was taken over by people that turned Krishnamurti into a book, into videos, instruction videos. Okay. And I was sitting there, I was watching these commercials, and they have this Dove commercial, for all your beauty. Your booty ain't your beauty. No, we're judged by our deed. Okay. Remember that video they had on YouTube about that hot blonde that has sex with everybody? And everybody talked about how beautiful she was, how sexually desirable she was. Yeah, if you think of your dick, if you think of your vajayjay, all right? She killed people, felt powerful, manipulated people, held their lives in her hands, and then shoved their face into her vagina or shoved hers into theirs. That's horrible. I know it is. Bob Crane, want to film it? Hogan's Heroes, right? Play around, you lose your wife. You play too long, you lose your life. Good time Charlie's got the blues, right? Everybody's leaving town. Say they're going to L.A. Some caught a freight, some caught a plane. Waylon did that song too. He liked it. I like it too. But guys, okay, your beauty ain't your beauty. Okay. And then they have these other commercials with these girls. Can you imagine, okay, Khadijah or Ruth or Esther watching our commercials, Here's these pads. They reduce smell during your period so you can go out and make money. You can go out on the job and not lose your position to a man who doesn't have a period. Okay. They got the little girl sitting there with the one kid smiling, laying with his head on her lap. Okay. In ancient times, the Pequot and the Jews, the reason why the Pequot were mass murdered by the pilgrims is because of the propaganda about Jews being the Christ killers. And the Pequot kept the same bath rituals and the same holy rituals during a woman's menstrual cycle of it being a sacred time to replenish for birth as the Hebrews did. Okay. So you don't run around making movies for fake-ass pimp daddy Nash fuck money on your period. People respect you. Dad turns into Mr. Mom. Mom goes to a bath with the other women. They clean themselves up. They talk about how good it is to be a woman and how good it is to be healthy. So if we can continue to raise healthy children. And if a woman goes through the pain but cannot have a baby, they're all there to comfort her and say, that's okay. All right? It's not that you're bad. It's just conditions were bad. And we'll make sure the conditions are good and better. So we have to treat our women during their menstrual cycle for what they are. Our capacity through procreation to have holy covenants, to worship and love on planet Earth, right? There's a reason why I'm the Messiah and Bobby Schuller's not. Dr. Charles Stanley and Dr. Michael Youssef are not. President of the Mormon Church, Russell Nelson, is not. The next Pope is not. Okay? Kim Clement was not. Okay. Jonathan Livingston Seagull was not. Okay. But in Jonathan Livingston Seagull's time, you did have Judah Krishnamurti. You did have Haile Selassie. You did have D.T. Suzuki. Before that, you had Sun Yat-sen. But the philanthropist murdered him and turned him into a comic book character. And Suzuki told me, don't believe anything I ever wrote or said about myself. It's all subject to editing, right? Okay. It's so cool. And Jesus has always told me that too. Don't believe anything I ever said about myself in books distributed by banks that mass murder people in my name. Orale, believe the man that lives like me, walks like me, talks like me, and is the eternal spirit of me. Hi, that would be me. Okay. And this is not a press conference, and I'm not playing for the Miami Heat. All right. Thank you. You're welcome. Turn them down. Me and that young man talked about it yesterday in the frozen food aisle at Walmart. I have not seen another person on the planet that got kicked off of Facebook after turning down $2 million a month offer from the Temple of Set Illuminati on my timeline. It's a scam. It doesn't matter. I turned it down and then got kicked off Facebook shortly after. That's one of the most impressive things in the whole world. And if it's not to you, you're really impressed that you're glad that Raquel Welch just signed $1 million pact. And that Jackie's in the discotheque and Margaret's in Vegas doing a brand new act. And Liz to get her hair done flies all the way to France. Okay, but here in Topeka, the faucet is a dripping. The pants are too short and the seam is a ripping. Okay, I'm just kidding around. I'm just making up lyrics. I'm just being goofy. Okay. One's on the way. Well, I'm gonna go clean up and go shoot me some hoops in the bar, get my exercise on tonight. Right? Y'all, yeah. I wish you joy and happiness, and I wish you love. If you want to live the Lord's Prayer and live in the kingdom of heaven, if you don't want to live the Lord's Prayer and stand up for your own damn self and live in the kingdom of heaven, I can't do nothing about that. I can't get you to do right. I can only just shine my own light. All right, y'all. Love you. Peace out, man.